Alright, this video is about having a growth mindset. So what the heck is a growth mindset? Well, it's the opposite of having a fixed mindset. So what the heck is a fixed mindset? It's the idea that we are each dealt a certain hand of cards intellectually and that there's not really anything you can do to change that. You're either smart or you're not smart. Your brain learns things easily and quickly or you struggle. It doesn't matter which of these categories you fall into. The fixed mindset says that you can't change it, okay? So you can have a fixed mindset about being smart, and you can have a fixed mindset about being not so smart, right? Smart people that have a fixed mindset think that their smartness is just natural and inherited. They didn't really do anything to get that way, right? So then when they fail, there's nothing they can do about that either, right? They don't feel like their results in life are tied to their effort. It's just kind of, everything's just kind of luck to them. So what happens is when they fail, they tend to shy away from the experience where they failed. They don't want to try new things and fail because that makes them look not smart. They really like having people tell them that they're smart and that makes them feel good. And they're used to success, so failure is really tough for them, okay? And when you have a fixed mindset as a not so smart person, you struggle in school, you think that you're not smart, everyone else is smarter than you, and you just kind of sit there and feel bad for yourself instead of working hard and fixing that, right? You don't believe that you can work hard and change your intelligence level. You just feel like what you got is what you got. So, that's the fixed mindset. Now, enter Carol Dweck and her curious team of researchers, right? These guys wanted to know if there's anything that they could do to take people from this fixed mindset to having more of a growth mindset. And they thought that they could do it by praising kids differently. So they set up this super interesting experiment. And I'll tell you a little bit about it now, but it's a really good idea to look into this deeper to understand all of the details. They learn so much about how we teach kids what perception they should have of themselves by the way that we talk to them. So I'll tell you about their experiment. First, they were in New York and they were studying 5th grade students. So they took 400 5th grade students and divided them into 2 different groups. 1, 2. So they gave them each the same nonverbal intelligence test and then met with each child after the test. And to the first group of kids, they praised their intelligence. They gave them their score and they gave them a single line of praise. And to this first group, the line of praise was, "You must be really smart at this." And then to the second group, they told them their score and they said, "You must have worked really hard." Okay, so after they delivered that line of praise, they offered the kids a choice. They said, you have to take another test now, but you can choose. You can either choose to take a really hard test that will be a challenge for you, or you can choose to take the same level of test that you just took. 90% of the kids that were praised for their effort, the hard workers, chose to take the harder test. They weren't afraid of that challenge. Their success had been tied to their effort. So they thought, if I'm a hard worker and that's why I succeeded, then I can just work hard again and I'll probably succeed at this challenging task, right? But then the smart kids, the kids that were praised for their intelligence, most of them chose to stay at the same level. They didn't want to risk not being seen as smart. They didn't want to fail because they were taught through their line of praise that their success was just lucky. It was just because they happened to be smart. And if you weren't dealt those smart cards, then you can't do anything about it. So we, in this group over here, we praise them for their intelligence. They developed a fixed mindset. And when we praised for effort, we developed a growth mindset. Now, what does this have to do with education and learning to read and things like that? Essentially, learning anything, especially learning to read, requires thousands and thousands of failures, right? You have to sound out words, you have to put those words together, you have to guess what they mean. There are so many little components to figuring out a word and being able to put words into phrases and phrases into sentences, on and on. You have to get really comfortable with failure, right? And if you have a fixed mindset and then you're challenged with something, you're going to want to quit, right? You're going to want to walk away when mom says it's time to read. You're going to have negative feelings about that interaction. It's going to be a battle, right? But if you've been praised for your effort and feel like this is hard, but I know that I can get help, I know that I can choose different strategies, I know that I can practice more, I know that I can give myself enough time, things like that. Learning to read and learning this applies across the board in education no matter what you're trying to learn. Having a growth mindset is really going to be an indicator of your future success. So how can we do this with our kids? How can we praise them differently and in a way that develops this growth mindset? Well, first, when they fail at something, praise their effort. Don't say, shucks, you'll get it next time and, too bad, or get frustrated with them. Instead, be really enthusiastic with them. When they sound out a word and it's not quite right and they're getting frustrated, you can say something like, I just love watching you try. It makes me so happy when I see you try to learn new things. I know you're going to get this, right? You're going to praise their effort, right? You're going to find anything in that interaction that you can say, look at your success. Maybe they got this one sound right, but they got the other 5 right. Point out their successes, point out their effort. They're staying focused. They're trying again. They're not giving up. Things like that. Then, even though they're failing, even though they're not getting the right answer, you are building a super positive relationship and interaction with them. And tomorrow, when it's time to read again, they're going to have a good feeling about sitting down and practicing, right? So that's when they fail. But when they succeed, you can also use that as an opportunity to teach them why they succeeded, right? Tie their success to their effort. So you're going to want to say things like, when they sound out the word right, or when they succeed in any way, you're going to say things like, wow, you must have really stayed focused. Or, wow, you must have chosen to work hard, right? Things like that. Or you can praise their attention to detail. Wow, you must have really paid attention to those details. Any little thing that you can see that they actually did to get that success, point to that. Point that out to them, because then they'll learn, oh, I wasn't just lucky in this interaction and got this right. I must have done something. And then next time they try, they're going to think, what did my mom say last time I did a good job? Oh yeah, I paid attention to details. And then when they are doing a task, they're going to really pay attention to those details because they know that is the key to success, right? And you've then developed a growth mindset. And this is not just something that's going to serve your kids well when they're trying to learn how to read, but this will serve them for the rest of their life. You're teaching them how to perceive themselves and how to have power and confidence in themselves even when they fail, right? Down the line when they're 30 and 40 years old and they lose their job or they're having trouble with a relationship or something, they're not going to think, well, can't do anything about it, just going to give up, They're going to think, no, I'm a hard worker. I can pay attention to details. I can stay focused. I can try again. I can get help. I can learn. And I can get different results because I'm in control, right? You're teaching them to use that agency and to be self-governing, to be self-motivated, intrinsically motivated learners that are going to be powerful influences for good in the world.